Hello, ladies and gentlemen. This is Eddie Marcus again. I was thinking about today how I could be more effective in the mission that I've been given than yesterday. I thought about when we are young in school, and if we here are in America, we speak English, but if we are going to study another language while we're young, we usually can catch on pretty good. Whether it's French, back when I was going to elementary school or something like that, everybody wanted to speak French. Now, for some strange reason, it's Spanish. And if you got it young, it could go with you. If you followed it through school, sometimes it would stick with you. And even more so if you had an opportunity to use it, like being in a Spanish environment or a French environment, or just teaching it or something like that. But you had to have some constant dealing with it, otherwise it'll start doing like a car that's not being used and start rusting out. But I'm thinking about if you decide later on, if you don't take it when you're young, you just speak English, and then you decide later on you want to take it. It's a little bit more complicated than it was at first. But even then, you made the decision that you wanted to study the language. You wanted to know the language. You wanted to use the language. And so that was still your choice. But here is a language that's needed, that is just as complicated as recognizing your need as it would be to understand what it really means. It's one of those things that seems to be very complicated, but it truly is not. And so I'm seeing the fact that if you are able to think, just think, not being totally programmed. Being programmed is pretty good. Education has to do a lot with programming. But how to make it, to dial it into your specific concern, your specific interest, you have to be able to think. And so when I look and reflect on life itself and all of us in it and those things that are coming amongst us, it brings us to a point that sometimes it seems as if we have not learned how to think, because we find ourselves in situations that only could be permitted because we're unable to think. Sometimes when I look at it, it seems like if the story of the Bible is anything like true, that we walked in a sense of heavenliness, a sense of paradise at one time, and we were to experience it as long as we could keep it. As long as we could keep it, mean walk into the basic dictates, the blueprint of that operation. How does heavenly stuff exist? There's a blueprint for it. As long as you walk according to the blueprint of heavenliness, you are confined in a situation that's heavenly. Now, if you decide to deviate from that, it's like a virus. It's like a cancer that comes in and wants to mess up things. Now, there are some protections in every body. Antibodies, they protect it. They come to get the cancer out of the way. And if anything can get you out of the way, it's got to be heaven. It's fixed for every kind of disease, any kind of virus coming in. You're going, you're getting out. So it says that perhaps we're living in the kind of world that we're living in today is a result of our being kicked out of heavenliness. And some might say we were led out by the devil or Satan or whatever you want to call it. Some might say it was just your thought, the idea that you wanted to venture out and find out what is outside of your own programming. And you step out there and you go out there. And when you're out there, you're outside of the basic principles that leads to heavenliness. And you have what you have all over the world. People trying to lead you somewhere. People being connected to God some special kind of way. Chosen people, some special kind of way. All of them out there in the wilderness, scattered about in the wilderness all over the world, trying to find the way to life when the weight of life is sitting right there before them. All you got to do is walk in it. They can't walk in it because they don't know anything about it over all this time. And the people that telling them about God is telling them some stuff that keeps them right in the situations that they are in today. I don't have to argue about that. It is evident to all of us who are alive today that the world and all of its religiosity has been like this or worse ever since we've been alive. Ever since we've been alive. So what is so dynamic about it? We all want certain things that are common. The necessities to fulfill that are all here. All here. Every last one of us know that humankind had nothing to do with creating this earth. Every last one of us know that. But yet and still we allow someone to say, I own this land. This is my land. This is my oil. This is my iron. This is my oil. This is my gold. This is my whatever God, this invisible power created. We allow people to claim it as theirs. And then they facilitate some kind of system around it that make us all slaves in bondage to what they have acclaimed as their superiority. And we come into the world falling in line with it because we know no better. We don't know how to think. But one day when we begin to think, we recognize that what allows this to exist, my ignorance allowed it to exist. But now that I can see, I can't go along with this, especially when I can see the pain and suffering that it causes over here. But that is not the most important thing. It's important, no doubt. But the most important thing is now I see the path back to heavenliness. The path back to heavenliness means the same darn thing. Turn your back, just like you did on heavenliness before, and turn yourself to the world. Turn yourself against the world toward heavenliness. And what does that mean? That means standing up right where you are, exposing all of that stuff that's not like heavenliness, not angry, doing it with the spirit of love. Because they don't know any better. And your exposing it is not good enough alone. You just can't be out there criticizing. You got to be able to show something that's better. And when you show something that's better, where everybody wants peace. Everybody wants that. Everybody wants to be prosperous. Yes, everybody wants that. Everybody wants freedom. Everybody wants joy in their lives. Everybody. Everybody wants their dreams to come true. That's common amongst us all. We want our needs, our wants, and our desires met. Oh, brother, that's common amongst us all. None of us ever to have to worry about food and clothing and shelter that's so essential for survival. Never have to worry about education that helps us and aids us to be better at whatever it is that we've been given to do. Never have to worry about health care. Oh, no, we don't have to worry about any of that. Because all of that in the program of life has been designed in such a way to be met. Because each of us who would benefit from each of all of these things, if ever needed, wanted, or desired, can access it. Because of the role that we play in putting our gifts to the plow, engaging ourselves in a career that is responsible for all of the manifestations of the goods and services that rest in the reservoir in such an abundance that no one will ever have to be denied it. That is thinking that allows you to walk away from the lying and the cheating and the stealing and the killing and the terror and the war and the racism and the bigotry and the hatred. Walk away from that stuff. Why? Because now all that exists by the hands of man belong to human beings with carte blanche to access whatever they want, when they want, or desire. Unlimited. Free. In heavenliness. Nobody complaining. Why? Because the gifts comes from And it's through us, for us. And we experience heavenliness amongst ourselves because that spirit that we don't see is alive in each and every last one of us. Now, if I can tell you that, ladies and gentlemen, and I know what I'm talking about, and if you can think a little bit, you know what I'm talking about. And you are excited, you're being led by a camera, a TV camera. You're being led by analysis that's been given to you by people who are not thinking, they just following some suit. You got an opportunity at this time, while this is a political season where decisions are being made about the future of this country, where you want to go. And you have an opportunity at this time to make this statement that this is the language that you want to speak. Because it's freedom from the far right to the far left, all across the board. It's an expression of love that can't be defeated. How in the world, having that opportunity, would you be racing back trying to get something? Well, I guess you'd want to stick to it because you know it. You know that. You feel safe with it. It won't get you where you say you want to go. But you ride that train, even though that train got you Donald Trump. I'm not laughing at you. I'm laughing with your spirit. It's laughing at you. Because that's a dumb move. But it's your choice to make. I just thought I'd take a moment of this day to share that with you because God loves you, and the only way you're going to know it is for God to share what you've been receiving. Until next time, this is Eddie Mark saying, have a good day.